Gambian migrants in the United Arab Emirates said that the impact of the coronavirus is making life unbearable for them in the diaspora. The struggle heavily to attain daily need is very difficult, such as food and shelter, a situation for which they contracted the Gambia government's Foreign Affairs Ministry for support. More than 50 migrants are currently banking on what they called empty hopes to find their ways back to the smiling coast of Africa. More of that in this report.
More than 50 Gambian migrant workers are currently stranded in the United Arab Emirates after their repatriation plea to the Gambia government proved unsuccessful. One of the migrant workers who spoke to the Good Morning Africa program on Friday said they have been living in very challenging conditions since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. Mansour Faye said their hopes were completely shattered after Gambian authorities responded that government was not able to afford airlifting of all Gambians in the diaspora.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. There shows no signs, and we don't expect the government only for airlifting, but they can engage themselves negotiating. Because here, the U.A.E, under the leadership of His Highness Sir Maktoum, announced that they are ready to help any government which want to repatriate their citizens. So then, what's wrong with the Gambia government to get up, try to engage their relationships with the international, and see what best they can do for their own citizens? And 60% of these citizens, before they were breadwinners of their family. They were working, sending money to their family. Now is the time they need their government to help them. Why the government want to ignore them or sacrifice them?
Yeah. So is your relative back home doing anything about the situation there?
No, we don't have even a single response from any. We write a letter to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we write a letter to the embassy, we write a letter even to the MPs. Even we went to an extent sending them texts. With the 18 MPs, I got their numbers. We send them direct text messages on their mobile phones, but nobody responds or asks about our situation or making inquiry about our situation.
Mr. Faye added that many of them are in the formal sectors whose situation is highly hit by the coronavirus global pandemic, so much that provisions of basic necessities such as food is daunting task. These Gambians in the United Arab Emirates said when they try to compare the responsiveness of their government with those of their West African neighbors such as Senegal and Ghana, they feel alienated immediately. As a result, the only option they have in mind include to once again ask government to collaborate with counterpart to think of another option. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Absege.
Now, spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Gambians abroad, Sekou Cissé, is here with me in the studio to share the comments of the side of the government on the story. Welcome, Mr. Cissé.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. As you heard in the story, Gambians in the diaspora are actually concerned that they have written a letter to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but to no avail, and they have been stranded at the United Arab Emirates there. What was your response to the demands for their repatriation?
Yes, thank you very much. Before we get there, it's important for us to recall, if you could recall in 2017, when the new dispensation came to power, they established the Diaspora Directorate, and which was launched in 2018. The main objective behind the launching of the Diaspora Directorate is to address the plight of the diaspora and give them, the required responsibility and attention that they deserve in the development process of the country. Having said that, let's move to this story. The Gambians in the United Arab
and the allegations they've made.
Yes. We are the government. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is very much concerned about the plight of Gambians in United Arab Emirates, and we received the information, we received the story. But the government has a constraint, and that is resource constraint. Government don't have enough resources to be able to evacuate all Gambians in the diaspora. Not only United Arab Emirates, we have Gambians stranded in different countries around the world. You cannot airlift one and leave and abandon others or leave others. That's not possible. The government wants to do it, but the resources as of now are not available, or the resource as at now is not available to be able to airlift them from United Arab Emirates to the Gambia. And aside from that, there are a lot of risk attached to evacuating people now. Certain logistics have to be in place before you evacuate people, because we are handling a pandemic in our country, and we are doing all what we can to be able to contain this pandemic within our cycle here. So, and government is also thinking in the aftermath of the pandemic also. You know, we all know that the coronavirus breed economic problems around the world. It brought in economic problems around the world. A lot of countries will suffer economic problems in the aftermath of this pandemic. Government is aware of that. It is also preparing for that. As of now, you can see, even in the government setting, some workers are not active at work. Some have been asked to stay home while others work. So all those things contribute to the human resource capital that the government has. It kind of limited the human resource impact, the impact that the human resource will have in the development process of the country. So we are surrounded with a lot of constraints, but nonetheless, government is trying to address the plight of Gambians in the country, and then also the plight of Gambians abroad. But what we can say with high degree of certainty is that government don't have the required resources to be able to airlift them from United Arab Emirates to the Gambia.
So,
Yes.
but what were some of the demands that they actually placed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Yeah, what I know is that they want to be airlifted from United Arab Emirates to the Gambia. They want government to facilitate that. But how do we facilitate that? In that country, if you overstay there for even one more day, you will not be allowed to leave without paying for it. You will go up to the airport, the security will break you and ask you, they will check your visa. If they realize that you stayed one more day, if a fee will be levied on you, and you will be asked to pay that exorbitant amount of fee. So there are a lot of things attached to it. Much than just taking a flight and bringing them to the Gambia. There is a lot attached to it. It's not as simple as people are seeing it. And then not only that, it's important for people to take note of the fact that since the pandemic broke out, government has done a lot to the people in the diaspora, or for the people in the diaspora. It gave support to our students in Wuhan and other affected regions in China. We gave them financial support, and and also through our various embassies and consulates around the world. The government of the Gambia, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, continues to give support to Gambians, ranging from advisory support, consular support, embassy support, and in some cases, financial support to Gambians abroad. So government, it has its limitation, it has its constraint also. It cannot verge into something that does not have the capacity to do.
Yeah, we spoke to one of them in the morning, Mansour Fai, and what he told us was, even if they are to pay their own fees, the only thing they need from the government of the Gambia is to facilitate their return from there. And they said the embassy in U.A.E, it's actually ready to partner with the government of the Gambia, but the government of the Gambia is reluctant to come to their aid and make sure that they are repatriated back home.
What fee?
Is this anything to go by?
What fee do they want to pay for themselves? What fee? Can you tell me that?
Yeah, what he said was, even if the government of the Gambia is concerned about the funding and all that, they will try among themselves to fund themselves. The only thing they need is for the government to guarantee them that, okay, this is the flight that will take you back home, and then the rest, they will take care of that. That is what we were told in the morning. We spoke to them in the morning here.
But look, taking a flight to U.A.E and help them board the flight, it's not cheap. That's a whole lot of process involved, a lot of things, and there are also risks attached to that also. What we want them to understand is that government is aware of their situation, and government empathize with their plight, and government objective is to ensure that no Gambians suffer outside. in the country or outside. But notwithstanding, it also has its limitation. It cannot, even countries with bigger resources, cannot evacuate all their citizens, talk less of the Gambia. I just read it in the news just yesterday. Vietnam just evacuated, I think, one of the badges of their diaspora community to Vietnam, to Canada, only to realize that these people are highly infected with coronavirus. You see, so these are some of the things that are in place, and we think that they will understand the situation and bear with the government as at now. Anything is possible. Government, well, if it has the resources, I know even today they will not sleep in that country. But there are a lot of strings attached to it. Yes.
So what efforts is the government of the Gambia making in making sure that these people are repatriated back home? Or is it that because there is no funding, these people are left at the mercy of the state in the UAE? Or is there any hope for them in back home from their own government?
Yes, there is a task force established, government coronavirus, task force established, to oversee, the operation, of the government, in light of the coronavirus. And I know that, this committee is doing all what it takes to address the situation, the corona situation in the country. And that involves, Gambians abroad, because it is established to address the situation of Gambians regardless of borders, here and in the diaspora. So that is the situation as at now. But what we want them to understand is that we want to assuage them of their hardship, but the resource is not there as at now to do so. When the resources are available, government will do it outright.
So, but does government has any plan regarding these people in the diaspora?
Of course. That is why the diaspora directorate is in place. That is why the diaspora directorate was established, to oversee their plight. But you cannot give what you don't have. And remember, there are a lot of Gambians in different countries around the world. If you should evacuate one, what about others in Qatar, those in Mali, those in Senegal, those in other places around the world, those even in this country, Uganda? So how do you evacuate all these things? We don't have the resources. We don't have enough resources as of now. As I'm talking to you, government don't have enough resources to be able to evacuate all these people in different countries around the world. Though it may try to do so in future if resources are available, but not as of now.
But as of now, people in the UAE, they should fit for themselves, and that facilitate their repatriation back home.
What is available will be given to them. But what is available will be given to them. But what is not available cannot be given to them. Honestly, if you're talking to your people, you have to be honest to them. Government as of now wants to help each and every Gambian abroad, and that is why it extended support to Gambian students abroad. But regarding Gambian migrants themselves, people, they are hustling, doing fine. They are doing very well, and we are proud of them. But government cannot give them resources. Government cannot give them a support that it cannot. It cannot give them support that it don't have, or that it cannot, because the resources are not available. So that is the situation.